is Bruce Kelly again. You are watching ATM Newsroom, the Bruce and Sasha Show. Cut the shit. We are back with part 4 of Who is Donnell Russell. Now, we are back at the dining room table where we left off, where Carey and Don had come to the house with a couple of Don's goons and Santee, and Carey's manager, I guess he called himself, was going to surprise me. And so we're going to get right back into it, and I'm going to let you guys know what happened. So they did come to the house. This was January the 10th. And I was kind of surprised that they did come, but I thought we were just going to go ahead and have the meeting that we had planned on having on the 13th, but I just thought we were just going to go ahead and have the meeting now. But I was in for quite a surprise because when Don told me, we got to talk, that let me know that something was wrong. So I'm like, what we got to talk about? And then he was like, well, you stealing from me? And I was like, what do you mean stealing from you? Where is this coming from? And when I said that, Carey, pressed the button on his phone, which I guess it was played because Robert's music began to play. So when I heard the music, I knew Carey had pretty much threw me under the bus. Which let me know Don knew that Carey had the album that I had recorded. So I felt like this. Okay, yeah, okay. I took the Robert's CD out of Don's out of his truck, and I recorded it on my computer and made a copy. I put it on my computer, and I sent a copy of the album to Carey so Carey could have it. But I told Don, this is my brother's material. This is Robert's material. So how is that stealing from you? So he said, well, it was in his truck. Therefore, if I took it out of there, that's stealing. So now I'm really like pissed off. I'm like, well, this came out my brother's warehouse, which he did not give you the permission to take it. So who's the thief here? Me or you? You took this out of my brother's warehouse, as did the masters. His masters you took out the warehouse without his permission, so you tell me who's the thief here. You're the thief. Now I was beginning to get very angry that Carey, first of all, had ratted me out, and then Don acted like the stuff that he took out of my brother's warehouse was his to do with what he wanted to do with it. So I got seriously angry, and when I started, talking, I stood up. And when I stood up, Carey said, he said something like, yeah, and there's another thing. And when he said that, I said, don't nobody want to hear from you. You a rat. You sit up here, you gonna sit up here and throw me under the bus. You're not part of this family, dude. And when I said that, he was like, who you think you talking to? I'll kill you up in here. And this is my brother. My younger brother said he would kill me up in here in front of these guys, in front of Don, in front of Santee. Like, like he did not, he didn't care about the family. He don't care about brotherhood. He don't care about Robert and anything that we had going on. All he cared about was what was going on with Don and I guess Indy Build, and forget Robert and Robert being locked up. Forget the documentary in which we were trying to produce. Forget everything. So at this point, Don told me I got to leave. I got to go. So I went to go pack a bag because I had a lot of stuff and I wasn't going to be able to take everything at one time. So I went and I got my bass guitar. And when I went to go get my guitar, Carey followed me into the room and disconnected the computer and snatched the computer, which it was a computer that he had given me. But, that's the kind of little boy that he is. If he gave you something and he get mad at you, he'd take it back like a little boy or a little girl. That's just what he did. So I didn't care. He could take that computer because I could have bought another one. In fact, that's what I ended up doing, was buying another computer. So that didn't faze me, But I did have to get out of there. A lot of strange things going on. They tried to, dictate to me, and I'm a grown man. Here I am, almost 60 years old, and they're trying to tell me what to do, what to say, who to let on my Facebook page, what channels to go on YouTube, who to look at, who not to look at. I mean, all these things were, they tried to dictate to me. And I was not going to let June or Don dictate to me who to talk to, who not to talk to, who to tell about my documentary, who not to tell. All these different things were going on, and it was just very annoying to me that here I am, I'm a grown man, but these are other people telling me what I should do, who I should talk to, who I shouldn't talk to, and all this and stuff. So the bottom line is I was going to end up having to leave Don's house, in which that was the case, pretty much so the case, in which he ended up telling my probation officer that I stole stuff out the house and all this and whatnot, in which I did not take anything out of that house. Only thing, like I said, that I took out the house, and I told my parole officer, the only thing that I did was tape my brother's music. So I was not charged with that. But the only thing that I was charged with is the fact that I was not at his house anymore. So I had a violation of parole because I was not there anymore. And that's why I had to go back down to the penitentiary. And
so it sounds like Don wanted to reported that you stole something, but that was not necessarily, it was unfounded with your parole officer. The violation came from just not being at the residence that you paroled to, right?
Exactly. Yeah, okay. He thought that he was going to, and then he tried to lie on me and say that I took some very valuable coins, some coins that were worth $15,000 or some mess he tried to come up with, but that didn't work. Because first of all, I didn't take any coins from him or anybody there, you know. So you know, all that stuff that he tried to come up and say, they didn't buy that. They did not buy it, and the only thing that I was going to be held accountable for was that me not being at my address of, you know, where I paroled to. So, you know, they got me out the way for a minute. So they got me out the way for a minute. So
they,
you know,
that was their intention, was to obviously either your brother got between you and Don, or Don got between you and your brother, or both, and that's where this confrontation came from. So you took some music that belonged to your brother and you shared it with Carey, and that was for you guys to keep because it was unreleased music. You didn't have any intention of doing anything with that other than holding on to what legally belonged to your brother.
Yeah.
And then Don added the part about the coins. Obviously, the parole officer investigated these claims. There was no police report made or anything, or if there was, no charges came out of it. So those were unfounded. Do you think it was their intention to begin with, they were going to come together and get you out of the way so they could proceed with whatever they intended to do?
Well, I don't believe that Don really wanted it to go that way. I believe that Carey wanted it to go that way. But I could tell when we were talking at the end, Don did not want this to go that way, because he seen that when he seen that I went off the way that I did, there wasn't no coming back from that. And I could tell that he tried to calm me down, but it was too late. Wasn't no coming back from it. There was no way in the world I was going to go through with doing anything knowing that Carey betrayed me the way that he did. He betrayed me that way, and we're supposed to be family. That let me know that I cannot work with him under any circumstances ever again. All right, this is Bruce Kelly, and you've been listening to ATN's Newsroom, The Bruce and Sasha Show. This concludes part 4 of Who's Donnell Russell. We're going to get into the next phase. My little brother, Carey Kelly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back. I'm going to go way back, because in order for you to understand what's going on in the present, I'm going to have to go back in the past and let you guys know what happened then. So be sure and stay tuned for the next episodes of the Bruce and Sasha Show. It will be my younger brother, Carey Kelly, and Am I My Brother's Keeper? Be sure and stay tuned for it. You're watching HN Newsroom, The Bruce and Sasha Show.